Welcome to the It's a Someone You Know show, a series presented by the Council on Sexual Assault and Domestic Violence. I'm Heidi Ranking, the host of the show, and today we're going to talk about ways that you can help CSADV maintain its mission and continue to reach its goals right here in the Siouxland community. In the studio with me today is Jean Boger. Jean's a program supervisor at CSADV. Thanks for joining me today, Jean.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, we've made it through the holiday season, and CSADV does a lot during that time. Tell me how the holidays went for CSADV.
Oh, holidays are wonderful at CSADV. You know, we are just so fortunate. We're so blessed with people who are so generous to our clients. This year we were able to help about 70 families. I think there was almost 170 children and almost 70 adults that we helped with Christmas gifts. And,
wow.
You know, like I said, it's the generosity of the community that really lets us do that. You know, churches, women's groups, school groups even, people just from the community are just so generous. They just, you know, help out, go shopping for us or get their group to go shopping for us and then help us provide Christmas gifts for all of our families. So it's really a fun time. We call it kind of like a Christmas workshop, Santa's workshop at the agency then.
Sure, and it's a way that if people weren't doing that, those people would go without holiday gifts.
They would, you know, and a lot of our clients actually, when they come to pick up their gifts, they're just so overwhelmed by the generosity. You know, quite a few children actually want to go where mommy's going to pick up the gifts and see where the gifts are coming from and see if it really is a Santa's workshop type atmosphere there. So,
sure.
Yeah.
Well, and it's a way too that those kids from those families realize what you guys do, and that there's kids out there that don't have a family to go home to sometimes.
That's right. You know, and one of the people can do it lots of different ways. It can be groups that do it together, but sometimes it's, you know, just, for example, we had one volunteer who took her 2 teenage children and they went shopping and bought gifts for other kids. We've had one little girl who stayed in our shelter. She's not so little anymore now. She's in college.
Oh.
And she remembers Christmas in shelter. And so she actually every year now goes out and buys Christmas gifts for the other kids in shelter and brings them to the agency just because she remembers what it was like to be in shelter at Christmas and wants to make sure the other children have a gift. So.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, it's wonderful that you have such great support during the holidays, but what about now that the holidays have passed, and what about through the entire year? How can people support CSADV at any time?
You know, there's really just so much. If you think about just the things that people need every day just to get ready for work every day, for school every day, just what you and your family need every day. Those are the kinds of things, those basic necessities that we provide for our families every year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So some people might donate hygiene products, you know, shampoo,
sure, okay.
conditioner, diapers, formula, that kind of stuff. Some folks might do towels and sheets and bedding and that kind of thing. Just, you know, whatever it is that folks might need to get through the day, and then to decorate a home or to fill their home. Those are all things that our clients can use.
And you guys provide that service to the clients when they're at the shelter at no cost.
That's right, yeah. And then again, if they leave our shelter and they're maybe starting out all on their own, maybe getting a new place, maybe for the first time, that sort of thing, but they don't have any way to decorate that home or fill it with belongings,
sure.
We rely on donations for that as well to help fill somebody's new house. We call that a new beginning for our clients, and so sometimes we make new beginnings boxes for them, which are, again, donations, but it's pots and pans and plates and silverware and glasses and towels and linens and just all those sorts of things.
Well, it's some way too that if someone's in an abusive situation at home and needs to get out fast, they don't get to grab all that stuff.
That's exactly right. And you know, financial reasons are one of the number one reasons why people stay in abusive situations. So the more that we can do to help them with that and let them know that there's help out there, the better off they'll be.
So it's a very easy way for anybody in the community to help out.
You bet. If you have a rummage sale, for example, or maybe you redecorated your house and you got a sofa or a bed or something that you don't need anymore. Maybe your kid's gone to college now and you don't need that bedroom set you had for him. We take furniture donations, just whatever. It doesn't have to be anything huge or grand, you know, just anything that you might be able to help us out with.
So if somebody had items like that, how would they go about getting them to you?
Just call. The easiest way is to call our crisis line, which is 712-258-7233 or 1-800-982-7233, and just make arrangements to usually to drop off those items. And we have some storage at the agency where we can let people come and then gather those things up for our clients.
And now that we have those necessities, how about the big one? How about food? Do you also do food for your clients?
We sure do. You know, when people stay at our agency, in our shelter, everything is provided free of charge. So food and everything else goes along with that. We use the Food Bank of Siouxland to provide for a lot of our food. Churches sometimes do food drives for us. Girl Scouts, you know, other community organizations might help us out. So we have that for folks who stay in shelter. But then again, if you're exiting shelter or leaving our shelter and you need a food basket to help get you by for a little while,
just to get you started.
Exactly, right. We use some of those same things for that.
So if someone's going to the grocery store, they can maybe pick up a couple of things
You
extra.
bet. You bet, yeah. And it doesn't have to be anything grand, just a couple boxes of cereal or, a couple cans of soup or something. All of those things will help.
Okay. And if someone wants to give a monetary donation, maybe they think that's easier for them, how would they go about doing that?
Well, we always appreciate financial contributions. And one of the things that we do every year is called our Nights of Shelter campaign. Basically, if you think about what you or I might spend to go spend the night in a hotel or something like that,
Sure.
we might spend, what, $60, something like that?
Maybe.
Easy $60, right?
Definitely.
So for us, for a night of shelter at our agency, it's actually $12.50 per person
Wow.
for one night of shelter. So what we ask folks to do, if they can, is to sponsor a night of shelter. One night is $12.50, 2 nights $25, whatever it might be that you could do to help a family be able to stay in our shelter.
And that shelter, again, not just open on certain times. You guys are there
24 hours a day.
24/7.
Yep, that's right.
So it takes quite a bit of $12.50 to keep you guys running.
Right. I think last year we had over 7,000 nights of shelter. So if you think
wow.
about that, $12.50, I really believe the community support is out there, that we really could have each one of those nights sponsored.
Well, especially when someone realizes that it is only $12.50, they might think it is like
Right.
staying in a hotel where it could be hundreds,
Exactly.
$125.
Exactly, yeah.
And so community support, very important, lots of different ways. We've just talked about that, whether it's food, maybe clothing. Can we
Right.
talk about that?
Right. Again, just think about when someone comes to shelter, they're lucky if they can grab their children, their purse, and their coat. On a night like tonight, it's a cold January night tonight. We need our coats, that sort of thing. But if that's all we had, how would we get through the rest of the day?
Sure.
So, if kids are going to go to school tomorrow, they need a change of clothing. Some people don't come with their coats, or even we've had people not even come with shoes sometimes. So
Wow.
anything like that. We collect pants, shirts, coats, shoes, socks, underwear for all sizes and for both boys and girls and women, so that we just have that on hand for folks.
Well, we've talked a little bit about the different things we've done through the holidays, but let's talk a little bit about what you guys do at CSADV. There could be people out there in the Siouxland community that don't know what you guys are about. Very important thing, I think, you guys are always there. It's confidential.
That's right.
24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Right.
People are at CSADV. Let's talk a little bit about maybe the 24-hour crisis line.
Sure. That's a toll-free number that people can call. Locally, it's 258-7233, or toll-free 1-800-982-7233. Again, that's going to be answered by a trained advocate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I tell folks, if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you can't sleep, you know what? We've got somebody who wants you to call, because they're awake at 2 o'clock in the morning and they're waiting for you to call. So give us a call. There's always somebody who's going to answer that phone.
And someone could call maybe for, what would they call?
It just depends. It could be for a variety of reasons. Sometimes people call because something horrible has just happened. They've just been in an abusive situation, or they've been sexually assaulted recently and they want to be able to talk to somebody about that. It might be that they're having trouble sleeping, or because they're thinking about their relationship that's abusive. And right now, there hasn't been a physical incident at that moment, but there has in the past, and they want to talk about what they can do and some options. Or it could be somebody's mom or sister or brother who just wants to know, how can I
sure.
help this person?
Sure. And advocacy and accompaniment.
We actually go with folks to, maybe it's the hospital. There's somebody at the hospital emergency room that has just recently been assaulted. We'll send an advocate down there to talk to them confidentially, of course, never giving information to anybody else. And we just talk about what their options are right then and there after the assault. Maybe somebody wants to get a protection order at the courthouse. We help them do that, go down with them. Maybe somebody has to testify in court and they're a little nervous about that. One of us can go with them to do that too.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's a very scary situation, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of people that need that assistance.
That's right.
Counseling and support groups. I'm sure you guys do a lot of that.
We do. We have counseling, both individual and group, and that can be for people who stay in our shelter, but you don't have to stay in our shelter for that either. You can come in, make an appointment just like you would any place else, Monday through Friday. We have trained counselors who will work with you on domestic violence and sexual assault issues. Again, it could be that it's happening to you personally, or it's happening to one of your loved ones, and you're wanting
Sure.
to know how you can support them.
Okay. Community education. You guys have your plate full there.
We do. You know, we go out and talk to really anybody who'll let us talk. And we talk about domestic violence and sexual assault issues with professional groups, church groups, community organizations. We also are really active in the schools, from preschool all the way through college. And with the schools, we talk a lot about prevention, how to prevent violence from happening. We start with little kids really young. We talk a lot about bullying, and we talk a lot about, you know, what to do if you are bullied, how to help somebody out who's being bullied. And then we go all the way through college with information like healthy relationships, acquaintance rape, that kind of stuff.
And you guys have a really great tagline, I think, with "It's someone you know."
Right.
No matter who it is, whether it's a coworker, a teammate, on, you know, a high school friend.
That's right. You just never know. That's exactly right. And, you know, 1 out of 3 women will be a victim of violence in their lifetime. We all know 3 women. One of them will be.
And so the community education, very important with what you guys do, letting everybody know that there's somebody here in town that can help them.
That's right. And that if this is happening to you, you're not the only one that it's happening to.
And community outreach kind of goes along with that.
That's right. And again, just going to different groups again, going to different maybe service organizations, social service agencies, and just talking to folks. And it's kind of a twofold approach. We want them to know what we do so that they can refer people to us, but we also want the community at large just to know how to get a hold of us in case there's somebody who's going through this.
And you guys have an agency, maybe, is it Lamar's?
We do.
Another, okay.
Great. We have an outreach office up in Lamar's, and then we also have an outreach office at the Sioux City Police Department.
Okay. And you also have a group with SAVE and Faith.
Right. Now, we have, specifically, we have a SAVE group, which are actually one of my favorite things. Students Against Violence Everywhere is what SAVE stands for. And that's a group of high school students that just want to talk about to other students, other kids, about domestic violence and sexual assault and healthy relationships and all of that. And then we also do some work with the Faith group too. Faith groups, just different ways to talk about, you know, if this is happening in your congregation or in your church, what can you do? How can you respond?
And that might be maybe the first place someone looks is their pastor or somebody at the church that they trust.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Okay. How about your safe shelter?
You know, that's probably what we're best known for. Definitely not our only service, as you've pointed out. We do a lot of other things too. But, you know, our Safe Shelter, again, everything we do there is free of charge at the entire agency, but especially staying in shelter. You know, you don't have to pay to stay there. It's a safe place. It's got security systems, that sort of thing, and it's at a confidential location.
And it's great that people know if they're in a situation right now, there is someplace they can go right now.
That's exactly right.
Right here in Sioux City.
Right.
Well, we've covered a lot of things today, Jean, and we sure could cover a lot more. But lots more ways people can get information. Website, phone numbers, give us those.
You bet. We have a website, www.safefromabuse.com. And then again, our phone numbers, toll free, 1-800-982-7233. 7233 actually spells out SAFE. Or 712-258-7233.
Great. Thank you very much, Jean. We'll probably talk to you again very soon.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you for watching It's the Someone You Know show. The chances are very great that domestic violence and sexual assault does affect someone that you know, a member of your family, a mother, sister, coworker, maybe even your best friend. Now, we're fortunate to have a place like CSADV right here in Sioux City to help the victims of this terrible crime. I'm Heidi Reinking. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.